what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've lived through it, heard about it, seen quite a bit, and now I'm bringing it back to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, sales is the greatest job in the world. It literally gives us a chance to create a life by design, and that's why we're here. Because we want to hear about all the crazy shit that goes on around us to see what we can get into, the shenanigans, the fun, and ultimately how we can literally change our lives to have everything and anything we could want if we're willing to do the work and call the damn leads. Today's guest, someone I know does exactly just that. I've had the pleasure of getting to know him and watch him over the last year, almost 2 years at this point. I'm pretty sure he's like Batman. He's an attorney by day. He's a real estate investor and mentor by night. He's my friend, Mr. McKlane Bobbitt. What's up, brother?
What's up, Drewbie? Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you being here, man. It's been so fun watching your journey. You know, we got connected about 1.5 years ago. One of my assistants at the time was like, hey, I talked to this guy. He's really smart, really sharp. You should connect with him. We plugged in, and man, it's been so fun to see you because, again, I know you're truly out there helping people, but you got some sales finesse, man, and I know you got a badass story for us. So let's just jump right in. Let me hear a crazy sales story from you, brother.
Yeah. So I know. Obviously, you love your memes. So for anyone that hasn't been memed by Drewbie, like that is your go-to. That's what people know you for. On the real estate side, I'm actually known for I will send pizzas to our prospects that are hard to get a hold of. Crazy story. We had a deal up in Ohio. It was a family of 8. We couldn't get a hold of the last heir, the 8th family member. Ghosted me, would not answer any calls, letters, phone, text, whatever. Would not answer anything. So I took it upon myself to go call the local Pizza Hut, had them right inside the box. Hey, enjoy the pizza. Call me when it's done. Hope you enjoyed it. I sent the pizza, full package, brownies, Coke, pizza. We tipped the delivery guy. We're like, hey, like, tell me who signs off on it. Tell me who takes it. And it gets delivered. Nothing, no calls, nothing for 12 hours. I get this call, just a random call up in Ohio. It's the ex-wife of the guy we're trying to get in contact with. She's like, hey, you got to help me, Mr. McKlane. You caused a fight. And I go, what do you mean? And she's like, my husband thinks I'm cheating on him with my ex-husband. So they get into an argument. I'm here in the background and I'm like, oh my word, like, let me talk to him. They're throwing a couch, like throwing chairs. And I go, look, let me talk to your husband. Let me see what's going on. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to find this guy. We're trying to close this deal. It's like a $60,000 deal. We're trying to get it done. And she goes, okay. You got him calmed down. That night, she calls me back. She goes, I've been talking to my ex-husband. Here's his new number. Bro, she'd been talking to him the whole time. And her new husband was pissed off. He was like, she's cheating on me. I was like, no, sir, I don't know. I'm just trying to get a hold of the guy. But come to find out, like he was working in the mines, like 12-hour shifts, like 14-hour shifts. And he changed phone numbers twice. And she was like, here's his number. Call him at 3 a.m. So I had to wake up, call him at 3 a.m. He's like, done. What do you need? We had a notary out there like 4 a.m. Yeah, it was insane what we had to do. But we got it done.
Off of pizza?
Off pizza, yeah. $14.
Come on. The pepperoni bandit is in the fucking house. Let's go. Bro, that's it. You know what, though? But let's just stop and unpack this for a second, McKlane, because that is so freaking genius. And a lot of people are going to hear that and they're going to overlook the simplicity and the beauty of what you did here. It's a fucking hilarious story, right? I can only imagine the conversation that you had to have about that and trying to maintain your composure and not being like, you fucking redneck hillbillies from Ohio. And I'm guessing it was in like a Dayton or some weird like Columbus. Sketchy area. Like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Columbus, for sure. Yeah, you know, and what you did, creating every opportunity to get in the door and to build rapport. It wasn't about the transaction. It was about building rapport. And there's something to be said about that because so many people skip that part of the sales process. They go right to, sir, the money. And it's like, yeah, okay, the money. But what do you do? Like, if you're a dude and you're trying to get with ladies, you take them to dinner, right? It's not about, you don't just give them money up front. That's a different conversation for a different day for different sales professionals. You take them to dinner, you feed them, you do not like, dude, that's so freaking great. I love that. What I'm going to ask, did you hear about that from someone or did you come up with that yourself? And you can be honest here.
I'll be honest. I did not hear anybody talk about the pizza. I'd heard people sending like shoes, like Patrick but David had talked about like sending the right footed shoe and saying, hey, like I just want to get the right foot in the door. I hadn't heard anybody in pizza. And I mean, who doesn't like pizza? Like someone's going to eat it.
Well, hey, thanks for sharing that, man, because I hope one person at least hears that and tries it and gets the success. And we both know that most people ain't going to do that. It doesn't work. But that's fucking genius, bro. I'm going to use it. I know I'm putting that in my little Rolodex, like, skill set book here. So tell me a little bit about the transition, right? What made you decide to go from having, a full-time job, essentially, that I'm guessing you make pretty decent money there, to deciding you wanted to do the real estate and do the cold, like, bro, I see you cold calling, you're putting in the work. So tell me what made you decide to take that jump.
Damn. So I kind of feel the back end story of it. So I'll say 2017, graduated college. I had a pharmacy tech background. I was a pharmacy tech. I was pre-med in college. I know you were pharmacy tech for a couple of years there, but I graduated college. I was engaged. I was getting married 3 months after I graduated college. Obviously did the whole rich dad, poor dad, went to college, got the grades, didn't get into master's school. And all I had was a pharmacy background. I said, look, I'm going to try and get into sales, because the whole idea was go into pharmaceutical sales, make the big money, go that whole route. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get a job, Drewbie. Biology degree, 4.0 GPA, could not get a job. So I went and took a job in debt collection, making $7.25 an hour, 1% commission. I was making like 500-600 calls a day. Never cold called in my life. And this room was filled with guys that either had like assault charges, they were in their third marriage, and here I am. I'm like, I just got out of college. I just got married. I don't know what I'm doing. And that really turned me on to this, like, hey, I can do sales. And eventually I moved on to medical device sales. And that's where I really learned, like, I can sell something over the phone and make $2,500, $1,500. My third month in medical device sales, I made $7,500 in commission plus my base. I'd made 10 grand. I was like, I'm not going back to college. and like you said, it came down to calling the leads. But as far as my whole real estate journey, it got to the point where the product we were selling was end of life. And so we had a lot of conversations with people that were like, hey, I wish I could go to the grocery store for 20 minutes without worrying about my oxygen. I wish I could go see my family. For me at that time, my wife and I, we were doing fertility treatments. We were trying to do fertility treatments. And it got to a point where like, hey, we've tried all this. Now that number for you to get the next treatment or the next level of treatment, it's $20,000, $25,000. Okay. I was here making $75,000, $80,000 a year. Like, that's a lot of money right there. For me, whenever we left the doctor's office and my wife walked out, she was like crying. She was like, we're never going to be able to do this. I know we make good money, but we're not going to be able to do this ever. And for me, that put that fire in me as a husband and as a man, like, okay, you got to nut up or shut up. Like, let's go do it. And so I started doing real estate wholesaling. So if you've ever seen like the We Buy Ugly Houses or how to make $10,000 in 30 days, like we're getting the contracts essentially with homeowners at a discount and selling it to other investors like fix and flippers, rental, like landlords. And we're making our spread on the contract. So we're not even owning the real estate. I was driving 2 hours a day, Drewbie. 1 hour one way, 1 hour back, work for 8 hours, go DoorDash to make marketing money for this. I did this for 7 months. And I finally got my first deal. My wife's like, are you quitting tomorrow? But I was sick and tired of not being able to provide. That's what it came down to. Sales will change your life, but your business will change your life even more.
Come on. Oh, that's so good. Oh, man. This is why I like you, bro. Every time we talk, I like you even more because you get to open another layer and really peel it back. But, bro, it's so beautiful because I see, like, I watch your social media. I see that you're a family man, you and your wife and your baby. Like, you're just all in on building something that you can be proud of. And you're doing the work. Like, I love watching. You're always posting like, all right, how many calls did you make today? It's like, I worked a full day and also went and made 100 calls. Like, come on, come fuck with me. Like, you do not play, dog. I love it. So let me ask you something. If you had to pick one thing about your sales process that you would say is kind of like your secret superpower, what is it?
Oh, it's our sales cadence. Like 100%. It shocks everybody. And it's just being consistent. If you want me to go into it, I can, but...
Yeah, come on, lay it on me. Let's give them some game here. I mean, you already gave us a hell of a story, but let's give them something good to take out of this, too, because we're going to make... I mean, if they don't take the pizza thing, they're already forgetting, but like...
That's already worth the money just for listening. But, so I was in software sales with my last job, in my W-2 before I went full-time real estate. And I'll be honest, my sales manager at the time, he was amazing. Guy was a beast. We learned how to do sales cadences. Well, it was obviously like, hey, here's how we call 3 times a day. You call, voicemail, text, all at the same time. Whereas other sales teams are like, call once a week, call every other day, and don't leave a voicemail. Double dial, like triple dial, but don't leave a voicemail. It's wasted time. And so my sales manager had really put game on us and was like, look, here's a 7-day cadence. You're going to rip this phone apart, cold call, text, voicemail, email. You're going to go just hammer the phones. So I took that over to the real estate side, where a lot of people use auto dialers and they're just calling through 10,000 numbers in 2 days. They don't leave any voicemails, whatnot. So I said, hey, you know what? Let's focus on 200, 300 leads at a time. And let's go through the 7-day cadence. So for example, I'll just give you the highlights on it. Is like day 1, we'll call in the morning. They don't pick up. We hang up, call back again. 2 calls, first attempt. On that second call, we leave a voicemail. Hey, I'm going to call you back in the afternoon, Drewbie. I know I probably missed you. You're a busy man. Call you in the afternoon. Okay. Hey, I missed your call again. I'm going to text you tomorrow. Okay. Day 2, text. Day 3, double dial plus voicemail. Day 4, text message plus voicemail. That's the difference there. Is like real estate investors, you have people that will sit on an auto dialer, call that person 1 time every 2 weeks. But here we are, we're calling them 14, 15 times in 7 days. Okay, where's the relevancy on that?
That's good. Bro, you know what? And it reminds me when I was in insurance, a few years back, my cadence for insurance was equally insane. It was like, okay, cool. If I've paid anywhere from, let's say, $15 to $25 for someone's information, all right, day 1, 3 calls. First call, no answer, call right back. All right, cool. Set an appointment for 2 hours later, call 2 hours later, no answer, leave a voicemail. Call 2 hours after that, day 1. Cool. Next day, those same 3 calls, except they're scheduled 1 hour later in the day. So now it's like, instead of calling at 9 a.m., I'm calling at 10 a.m. And then I'm calling it, 1 p.m. and then 6 p.m., whatever. And it would do that for 5 straight days. And then we weren't legally allowed to text back then. Now that I don't work there, I'll say that I would sneak in a text message. I would go and find these people on social media if I could. But like, all right, well, you're in Perrysburg, Mrs. Smith. Cool, I got you. You look normal. You're probably a good quality candidate. Like, let me follow up with you. I would send emails. I had it set to where on like day 8, the voicemail was, hey, you're going to get a letter in the mail from me within 48 hours. Check that out. It's the lowest price that we could potentially give you without knowing anything further. Let me know what you think. And then as soon as I hung up, it would print the letter and it would go out from the print house. And on day 10, I'd be calling at like 3:30 in the afternoon. Like, hey, I'm not sure when the mail shows up, but that piece should be coming in. Check it out for me. Dude, I nerd out on that stuff, man. But that's the difference.
It's a mind game.
That's the difference between someone who like really cares about what they're doing or is just mindlessly dialing away, waiting for someone to pick up and hoping that they, the blind squirrel finds a nut theory. You're being very strategic and specific. And the difference is, like you said, that guy that was working 3rd shift, if he's in the mines, bro, he's busy. And maybe he does want to talk to you, but maybe he also doesn't give a shit because you haven't given him a reason to give a shit until he had a full belly full of pepperoni pizza and went, well, you know what, man? I better call McKlane. Actually, he probably called his ex-wife and was like...
He called his ex-wife, yeah.
It's like, well, hey, man, I got this pizza in me there. You want to come on by about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning? I'm going to be home. We split this pizza, and then all of a sudden, here we are. You got yourself a $6,000 deal, bro. Like, gotta love that. So I got to ask, man, as you've gone through this journey, you've really focused on creating a system, a cadence. Real estate is your main focus. And I know that you've been taking on some clients and helping them kind of start their journey. When you're working with someone new and they're trying to get into the game, what is the first thing you start teaching them when it comes to picking up the phone and calling the damn leads?
Ooh. That's a good question there. Honestly, the first thing I do is I want to understand, are you the type of person that is even going to cold call? Because I'm sure you've seen sales roles is there's people who are afraid to cold call. And yes, you can force someone to cold call all day, but that might not be their best personality. So like we're cold call heavy. I would say 90% of our leads and deals come from cold call. True cold call, not, hey, we're taking it from a lead or outbound center, but it's understanding, are you the type of person that will be on the phones all the time, or you're the type of person who's like, hey, I need a text, I need to send voice message, I need to send memes, or you need to be creative to fit your strong suit, because you can call the leads, text leads, voicemail drops, door knock, whatever it is, but you're going to really shine in one of those areas. And it's understanding where are you going to make the most productivity in that area.
Ooh, damn, that's a great answer. Because it really, like, I love that as a leader that your focus is on, okay, what are you going to do consistently? Because you can be strong in any area, right? I know people that they're fantastic on the phone. You get them in person and they fumble, which is weird, but it's just a different cadence.
Yeah.
Same thing. I've met people that are killers at the back of the room. Get them on a phone. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do with their hands. It's like, sir, you're on the phone. You don't have to wave them around like you just don't care. It doesn't matter. McKlane, I'm that dude. When I'm on the phone, I'm like picturing things, and I'm like Tom Cruise in that movie, like whatever, where he's moving shit around. That's me on the phones. I'm literally just swinging my hands around. But it's so interesting to me how your focus is like, all right, cool. Well, what are you going to actually be consistent in? Because again, if you're not going to pick up the phone, it doesn't make sense for you to put someone in a phone role. You cannot force someone to be comfortable doing something they don't want to do. It's just a recipe for disaster. So I appreciate that feedback, because that's really a great way to look at it and to go about it. And so I think it really is part of the reason why you and your team are having such success, because you're living it, you're doing it, you're right there in the trenches with them, showing them step by step what it looks like. And the fun thing that I've seen, and do you do this? Do you ever go live and just do cold calls and have like people watching while you're doing them? I've seen a bunch of dudes doing this recently. It's pretty ballsy to go to get on there and make that happen.
Oh yeah. So I do Zoom calls where it's like my mentees are on there and they're like, okay, let's see him work this deal, and I'll go work it. But I haven't done any lives. That's actually something we talked about, is like, hey, let's go do lives. But yeah, a lot of our deals are juicy. So that's why I wait until after we've either contracted or like, hey, we're going to wait for it for a minute.
My man got the juicy deals, the juiciest. Bro, I love that. I think it's fantastic. I know for me, real estate, and in this show specifically, there's been several investors who have come on. And what I love about it is there's so many different ways that you can approach it and find success. I've met guys that's like, man, I don't cold call. I literally just send mailers all day long, and they call me and I make deals happen. All right, that's fucking cool. Guys like yourself's like, well, I pick up the phone, I call the damn leads, we make it happen. This is how we get paid. I'm like, hell yeah. Shh. We already told them once. We can't tell them again. Now they got the game, bro. Like this is our little secret between you and I, McKlane. Come on, bro. We talked about this. No, that's so good. And really what I'm interested in now is who's going to switch it up and does like, I didn't do pizza. I did gyros, or I did like chicken wings or some fucking wild ass nonsense. Like, it'll work. Step outside the box.
Yeah.
Or get real creative and start seeing who actually lives there, do some social recon, find them on social media, and then send them their favorite meal. That's really going to trip them out. Might seem a little stalkerish. Doesn't matter. How bad you want that juicy deal, baby?
That's what I'm telling you. We track people down. I'll show up at their doors. They're like, you've been calling me quite a bit. I'm like, yes, I have. You ready to sign?
That's awesome. Man, I'm sure we could sit here and goof off all day and have a great time, but I really believe that you've provided a ton of value in this show. I would love to know if someone is in real estate or they're considering it and maybe looking for a mentor, what's the best way for them to come find you, check you out, and learn some of that amazing knowledge that you're sharing?
Yeah, best way, obviously Facebook. It's just my first name, last name, McKlane Bobbitt. Or if you find me on Instagram, McKlane.Bobbitt, DM me on there. If you want to YouTube me, you can. I've got a couple of videos up there on real estate. Got a couple live videos where I'm actually closing deals in rooms full of like 500 people and everyone's like on the phones. But yeah, if anyone's wanting to get into real estate, either it's fix and flip, rentals, wholesaling, like anything in that area, reach out to me.
Man, I knew you would just make it simple on them. And what I really appreciate about you is that, like I said before, you genuinely care about helping people. So I'm going to leave with this one last question before we get out of here. This show, always attracting new people. If you heard it today and you got some value, make sure you're sharing it on social media. Tag us at Call the Damn Leads, at McKlane.Bobbitt. But let's say someone shows up here, they're new to sales, they're maybe thinking about getting into it. if you can give them just one piece of advice on being successful in this industry, what would it be?
Oh, especially sales. It's I'd say the number one thing that I wish I'd have told myself sooner is do the thing that you're avoiding doing today, and it's a lot easier than you think it is.
Oh, that's so good. Brother, do the thing you're avoiding. It's a lot easier than you think it is. That's a game changer right there. We're definitely going to cut that clip up and share it because that is something I can speak to personally, knowing all about all too well, as I'm sure many of the sales professionals who will come on and check this show out. So McKlane, thank you again for being here. If you guys are listening, like I said before, hit subscribe, share this on social media, put it out there for your sales homies. Let them know we are here to share the good times and some help and some tactical stuff. If you liked it and you have a sales story that you want to tell on the show, I'd like to have you here. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your information. Tell us a little bit about your story. We'll get you scheduled. As always, I appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Go call those damn leads. Later, y'all.